Now, men, you're going to have to force yourself to work. You're going to have to force yourself to develop. You're going to have to force yourself to grow. Now, what I do not mean by this is grinding each and every day, right? If that's the word that you used, in a constricted state without peace of mind. What I mean by forcing yourself to work is making that commitment that you're going to do it regardless, okay? Too many men, I've been speaking to a lot of men inside our free community group and a lot of men over the past few years. And it's something that I struggled with for a while as well. But I've not been in that place for a while that I've forgotten what it's like not to be involved with the man you truly want to be. Taking action on your development. I forgot what it was like for a bit, but after sitting down, reflecting and realising that a lot of men are really sitting back on opportunities. A lot of men are sitting back on their potential, right? But what I need you to know now, men, is you do not get a free ride. No one owes you anything, okay? And that's what I realised, and that's the thoughts that I was dwelling on a few years ago when I was at rock bottom in my own life, right? That no one was coming to save me, that I was not going to get a free ride to the top or a free ride to the results that I wanted or that I admired, right? What you want to achieve is solely going to come down to you getting that based on your daily actions, right? And your belief in who you are as a man, right? That journey can take time for sure, yeah, definitely. But it can also come quick as well, right? But you're going to have to force yourself to work. We cannot be lazy here. We cannot spend hours and weeks, right, fantasizing, thinking, and not really putting in a graft, not putting in some form of action each and every day. Men, we do not get a free ride, and that is the truth here. Everything that you build has to come through your own blood, sweat, and tears, right? And then what will start to happen as you start to build yourself up, as I've stated many times in my videos, right? Opportunities will start to come, but not only that, your internal workings of who you are as a man will start to change. Your belief in who you are will start to change. You will live from that internal world and that internal place that's where drives real long-lasting results. But forcing yourself to work comes down to a commitment to be better. A commitment not to be average. A commitment to leave the old world behind. Do you truly want to be living from average standards each and every day on what most men are walking around doing, saying and becoming? Because their standards are set, their beliefs are set, their results are capped at a certain level, right? And the results that they're getting, I guarantee they do not want those results. And you'll know this for yourself. I know this for myself as well. I was at rock fucking bottom, right? My confidence and self-worth was at rock fucking bottom. My life was chaotic. Drama, drinking, drugs, nowhere to go, right? But when I made that change, and when I see men make that change, that first step is the realization that we can make that fucking change. It comes down to self-reliance and self-accountability. But also forcing yourself to work, forcing yourself to get up and go after it and be that little bit better. Be that little bit better than you were yesterday. Building self-discipline. Now, do not get caught up in all this fast changing and pacing world. Of course, you have to adapt with the world to build your business, to build who you are and get results you want. But don't get caught up in the bullshit and the false sense of it all, that you deserve everything quick and now and fast. That social media game is a dangerous, dangerous place to be. If you're a man who's on your phone, right, and you're spending hours on your phone and you don't have a business, you're just consuming all day, then you have real problems that you need to solve and you need to change. Because that is countless of wasted hours consuming, viewing, looking at other people's lives, and instead of looking at your own life, right? What that's showing yourself is you're not truly happy where you currently are. So my best advice, man, is to get off that phone, start to take real action, right? If you're on that phone, try and use it wisely towards your business, right? That's a simple strategy or a simple lane of focus that we can change and really divert as well, okay? Now, again, the law of life, like discomfort will lead to growth, but obviously it has to be the correct discomfort that's aligned with where it is you're going. We cannot escape this. We cannot escape this ever. Okay, and again, it goes back to forcing yourself to work. It's not always going to be smooth sailing. There's going to be times that you wake up, maybe there's less money in the bank, there's maybe a few things going on at work with your business, maybe a few clients have left, maybe your girlfriend's just broke up with you, right? But how do you truly respond to that? How do you truly respond to that? Now, over here, we speak about raw life because this is what tends to happen. But it's how you adapt to these situations that come your way that really shape and show exactly who you are. Right? And I think James Allen said in his book, As a Man Thinketh, that circumstance reveals who you are. It shows exactly who you are at this point in time. Right? And if you don't like what's happening on the outside, then look to change it on the inside with the beliefs that you have built. And if you're not prepared to go inwards and look, then man, you're missing the point and you're missing the mark completely. And this is why so many men are walking around like headless chickens, not achieving what they want to achieve, and they're operating on an extremely low level. Now, I'm not talking about just their results physically, I'm talking about their character, their confidence, how they conduct themselves, how they truly feel about themselves behind closed doors. This channel is about building your internal, because that is what shapes who you are as a man. That's what builds your self-reliance. That's how you conduct yourself each and every day. And it's your character development as well. But men, do not forget that forcing yourself to work, that has to be a non-negotiable. Gain that momentum that you need. But depending on where you are on your specific journey, there's going to be points in time where you're going to have to get up, right? Just get the work done. Tick off the task, give them as much effort and focus as you can, and reduce the volume of distractions that are currently going on in your life as well. Because I guarantee, again, if you pick up that phone or open up your laptop, there's so much going on in this world at the moment. There's so much side missions that we can get attracted to that are not relevant to where it is that we truly want to go. But if you follow that, then that's your own undoing. But the longer you can stay in that lane of focus and build in an energy that is constructive to the man you want to be, the better chance that you're giving yourself. Each day, chopping away at it, taking action, thinking better, more clearer, urgent thoughts, and again, trying to be better. But to do that requires forcing yourself to work at a certain period of time. Vitally, vitally important.